Hey guys, welcome back to Turned On with Marissa and Jen. We are here for chapter 4 of Gabby Bernstein's book, Super Attractor. Have fun along the way.
Yes, we want to invite you now to take a deep breath, release your shoulders, unclench your jaw, and join us in this chapter. Let's have some fun.
Let's get into it. Have fun along the way. And just to go over, the last chapter was all about abundance and abundance blocks, which was a pretty heavy chapter.
Yes.
There's a lot to unpack there. So hopefully you guys put together some things into your real life from it, and now we're moving on to have fun along the way.
Yes. And I know that we talk about joy a lot, but today we're going to make joy feel a little bit more in reach for the people that are struggling for joy. We're going to make it look a little bit more realistic and not just like a cute saying on a mug.
Right.
We're going to show you how to find joy, even if it's just a little more.
Mm-hmm. Or even finding joy out of reach.
Yes.
Because that's a big word. It's also my middle name. But that's a big word to try to find joy. Well, a lot of us, I feel like it's been a long time since we felt it. Yes. But having fun along the way is a part of joy, and finding just small things that someone paid for your stuff at Starbucks.
Yes.
That's joyful. Or you got that perfect colored coffee this morning. You can find
that is joyful.
That is joyful.
That is joyful.
I mean, especially when we get older, those small things.
Yes.
Whew.
Yep, they really do make a difference. What if joy wasn't something that we're waiting for? What if it is something that we practice in tiny little honest moments, like you said, your coffee being right at the right morning, when you're struggling to just kind of get moving, and then all of a sudden you see that one little glimpse, something wonderful just kind of brings in that small
piece of joy.
Yes.
Well, I think that being able to find that is what the core of this book is, trying to get yourself into that state.
Right.
Feeling better and having fun. And when you're in those flow states and those frequencies, those things become easier for you to attract and obtain because they're spiraling around.
Right.
When you're in the despair and the fear and stuff like that, a happy little joy bubble is probably not going to be bouncing around. Or it could be, but you're not noticing it because you're so hyper fixated on, you stubbed your toe this morning, spilt your coffee, and then it's going to spiral.
Right.
So I think a big part of this chapter is helping you get to the state where you can feel joy.
Right, definitely. So one little moment at a time. So I stopped when I started reading this chapter, and I asked myself, what used to bring me joy that I stopped making time for? And this was eye-opening, because I realized there are so many things that really truly bring me happiness. And when you get in the hustle and bustle of life, those things just don't seem important, and they start to fall away. So what are some of the things that you don't make time for? Have you thought of anything?
I've been making time for that, but I do remember when I started reading these chapters, going back to my inner, it was hard for me to grasp what brings me joy because I was in such a low state at that point. So that's when I started thinking about when I was a kid. I love to draw. I love to look for bugs outside. I love to, just kind of relax and zone into a good, one of my favorite movies. So those are things that I've started bringing back. I have all these little aloe plants. I've really realized I like to piddle. If I could be a professional piddler, those little things bring me joy. Piddling around, rearranging the lamps in my kitchen, or the aloe plants on my bench outside, or so I like to piddle, I like to read, I like to do small things that I've been trying to make time for.
That's wonderful. I mean, those small things are really what gets you to
dancing.
The state that you need.
Yeah, we talked about that in the first episode, dancing. What about you?
That's a big one for me. So that's new for me. That's something I've always been, I guess, shy, even in the privacy of my home. But when that joy starts to flow, or if I'm just in a low mood and I put that certain song on, that'll raise my mood up. But with me too is I love riding in my car with the music up and just in my zone, just doing my thing and having my time and my peace. Yeah. And I love to drive. I like the sunroof open, and
I agree. I do love being in my car too. And I watched a video that was interesting the other day with Jason Shurka. and he was talking about finding where your zone is. Your zone is where you spend most of your time. And the car is a space that we all spend a lot of time in. So making that like, okay, let me get my playlist going and keeping it clean, you know.
Yes.
Clutter is a disorganization of frequency.
It absolutely is, and it makes such a difference.
It makes such a difference.
Such a difference. Yeah. I have worked with this with design people, and the amount of change that happens when you just allow your space to feel clean, and you just want to experience the warm, the cozy, the cuddly feeling. And you get that when you get rid of all the extra.
Oh, shit. And maybe you're just like, this piece of crap car that I have. There's someone sitting on a bus stop looking at you and your piece of crap car being like, I wish I had a car.
Yes.
So, and you know, clean your car, like taking care of your things. And I think that's a big thing that I've done that I could think correlates into chapter 4 too, is taking care of myself better.
Yes.
Like taking care of yourself like you would your child or your mom when someone's sick, someone that you care about, but putting that towards you. Like I was having a really just hormonal long day the other day. And I'm like, okay, stop, breathe. What can I do to take care of myself? So I made my bed real pretty and I was like, let me take a bubble bath. Let me put a nice bubble bath on. Let me lay out my pajamas. Like I was pretending like I was taking care of my son if he was having like a, you know, and I was like, but you have to care for yourself.
You have to.
And that immediately brought my vibrations up because I took time to care for myself.
Right.
Instead of just throwing myself into the bed and doom scrolling and put Friends on. I've been watching Friends again. In fact, Friends is hilarious.
That's my go-to. I watch it every single night right before I do my meditation to just kind of calm me down, bring me into my zone. Then I'm cuddled in my bed, and then once I'm ready to like drift off, the headphones go on.
Yes.
My meditation goes on, and that's how I end every night.
And stuff like that. I actually had a big epiphany this morning watching one of Joe Dispenza's quantum physics videos and being into this. And we talk about the emotional scale from, what's her face? Course in Miracles. You know, her. The lady that wrote A Course in Miracles, she's got this scale. And talks about you can't go from despair up to joy immediately. It just doesn't work that way. We're going to get into that.
Yes.
But really, the secret to manifestation, I've kind of just really absorbed this, is if you're spending your time in the past, your familiar past, those scenarios that don't feel good, you're thinking in the past. When you're spending your time thinking about your predictable future, I got to make lunch tomorrow, I got to go to work tomorrow, I got to do this. Those aren't the states where opportunities and abundance and stuff like that can find you. It's being in the present moment. So going into what Friends brings you no matter you're going through a breakup, you had a shitty day, it's funny. And for a couple of minutes, you're not thinking about what you have to do, what you did yesterday, what you felt bad about this morning. And that is the key, is to bringing yourself to the present moment, because that's all it is.
That's all it is.
It's now.
Really, yes.
And then it's now.
Right.
And then it's now. And now. 10 seconds ago is gone.
Right.
So you want everything to find you in the present moment.
That's such a great point, Marissa. And that is so true. And that was the biggest takeaway that I got from Joe Dispenza's retreat that I went to, was be in the present moment. Because every time you bring in the past into it, you're stopping, you're throwing up that block. Hey, remember when that one time I prayed for this and I didn't get it? Remember that? Okay, so right there, you're already creating a block as you're trying to think about
how are things going to get to you when you're stuck in something from 10 years ago.
Yes.
And you're going to be stuck in something for 10 years ago unless you go into it and talk to yourself and be at peace and like let it go.
Right.
Let it go.
You do. You have to do the inner work. You have to reach in. And I work with this a lot in hypnotherapy, and it's where what was the biggest change for me, and the biggest change that I see in people, is when you really get into that inner child and you get deep and you have those conversations that you think are going to be difficult. They're really not as difficult as you might put in your mind, because you're just talking to your younger self and explaining the truth about who you really are today. and helping her to understand that, or him, and which does so much for your inner being. And it reminds you who you truly are and who you were put here to be. And that really is where your power is. That's where you find the strength, the joy, the unconditional love, all
peace.
those things that everybody's so seeking every day. That's where you find them. You find them in the moments where you're truly in touch with who you are inside.
And, a lot of the times you're searching for those apologies that you think you should have gotten or you never got. What you can do is go back to that teenage point of you or a couple of years ago and be the friend or be the whatever. Talk to yourself like what you needed at that point.
Yes.
And be at peace and sit in that and close the door.
Yes, it really is so healing. It really is to talk it out, because we build things up so much in our mind and we create such a story about, and maybe it was a simple thing, maybe it was a really traumatic experience, but we build so much more around it with our mind. So if we can stop that and get down to the truth of the story, like Marissa's saying, that's where you can truly break into the healing.
Right. And what you're doing too energetically is you're putting out signals. Like the quantum field is a real scientific field.
Right.
When you're spiraling about, of course that happened and this happened and that happened, and you're finding these patterns, that's where your focus is going. All the universe is hearing. The universe wants to bring you more of what you're doing. So it's going to bring you more of those situations that you don't want.
Right. What does he say? Joe Dispenza says, where your energy goes, so, I'm not quoting it right now. We'll come back to that one. Where the energy flows, your concentration goes.
Yes. Like a boomerang. All right, so in chapter 4, she kind of goes right into using this little boy, Jack, as her example.
Yes.
And Jack had baseball tryouts, and it's her friend's son, and he's a very bright, happy, bubbly little boy. And Jack comes home, and he didn't make the team. So, Jack is in a point of despair.
Which we all understand, and we've all been there before, where you just feel like you were rejected. You can just build this story about all the reasons why you should just be so devastated because you didn't make the team.
So, on page 66, we go into the emotional guidance scale. And this is something that I think that you should take a picture of. Even if you don't have the book yet, go Google it, take a picture of it, so you can, when you are in those low feelings, you're able to be like, wow, I didn't think that was a jump of feeling better, but it was. So she's saying that at first, we're at the bottom of the scale, which is fear, grief, desperation, despair, and powerlessness. So Jack was talking about how he felt powerless, oh man, like I wasn't picked, I'm the youngest kid, like he was pissed off.
Yeah, he was.
So Gabby was like, no, we need to move this along.
Right. But I like how she knew right away. She knew what to say to make the moment better. But that's not what she jumped in and did.
Right.
She waited, and she waited and just gave little micro nudges to bring him to a little bit of a better place. And it was just such a beautiful, the way she wrote it and the way you watch this transition, just something silly that he starts talking about and immediately he's able to raise his vibration.
So she gets him talking. She just starts asking him questions like, I understand how you feel. How does this make you feel? And he's like, rah, 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 rah. So he starts in powerlessness. Then he jumps from that to jealousy. Well, it's not fair, and all the other kids got moved up. So she's like, he doesn't know it, but we're moving up. And then we went from anger to blame. So, these are things that you would think like, wait, blame is better than anger? Yeah, it is.
It is.
So taking time when you are in those very low, angry places, and it happens, I think just having this picture and seeing like, what can I do to move up and not be hard on yourself.
Right. That's key, because I know I'm very hard on myself. If I'm feeling down, I'm like, why are you feeling down? That's my first response. What do you need to do? Well, you got to, and that's the worst response. You got to take a breath, realign yourself, and then just move up 5%. That's it. Look for one little nugget.
There was a couple of weeks ago that I was in a mood. Something just pissed me off and I couldn't get out of it. And instead of fighting my way out of it, I was like, okay, let's try to let go. Let's just marinate in the gruesome layer of despair. So I did. And I told my husband, I was like, I'm angry. Leave me alone. And I just laid on my balcony, rotting away for half the day. And then eventually, like, I started coming out of it. But I think I started coming out of it because I wasn't putting more pressure on myself to feel the way that I wasn't feeling.
Right.
And then I let myself feel, why are you feeling like this? Okay, I pushed myself too hard that week. I did too much stuff, and my body was literally like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. And that's key. You got to listen to your body, because your body will tell you. You'll feel the signals. And I think we're going to get more into that, because I have some notes on that she had mentioned. But you have to listen to your body. You got to listen to that tightness in your chest or that nervous feeling in your stomach, because that's really going to be how you can come back to alignment quicker.
You're communicating with yourself. It's your body, it's your oversoul, it's your higher self communicating. And ignoring that is just going to just ruin it.
It's just going to keep pulling you down and pulling you down a little bit and a little bit and a little bit until eventually something's going to come out, because you're going to have to eventually break down, or you're going to have to eventually yell and scream, or you're going to eventually have to get it all out anyway. So if you can just start noticing those little things that are pulling you down a little bit more and pulling you down a little more, you can stop them. You can say, hey, wait a minute, I'm noticing these wrong thoughts, these wrong ideas, or,
Absolutely. Do you want to go back and forth and read the emotional scale?
Sure, let's do it.
You want to start at the bottom or the top?
Let's start at the bottom and work our way up to the better ones.
All right, there's 22.
Let me get to that page real quick. Okay, go ahead.
66.
Yep.
Okay. The bottom of the emotional scale is fear, grief, desperation, despair, and powerlessness.
21. Insecurity, guilt, and unworthiness.
20. Jealousy.
19. Hate and rage.
18. Revenge.
17. Anger.
16. Discouragement.
15. Blame.
14. Worry.
13. Doubt.
12. Disappointment.
I'm so glad we're going up, not down. 11. Overwhelmed. Feeling overwhelmed.
10. Frustration, irritation, impatience.
9. Pessimism.
8. Boredom.
7. Contentment.
6. Hopefulness.
5. Optimism.
4. Positive expectation, belief.
3. Enthusiasm, eagerness, and happiness.
2. Passion.
And 1. Joy, appreciation, empowered, freedom, and love.
So some of these you really wouldn't think is a better feeling.
Right. I was really surprised with pessimism being number 9. I would have figured that would have been way further down.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So fear, which I feel like most of us are guided by,
Yes.
is the bottom. And there are so many people that is their instant state.
It is.
Worry, fear.
Well, especially if you are surrounding yourself with certain news from the world today, or, different things. If you look at the world from the perspective of, not from the perspective of the higher being, not from the perspective of knowing that there is a greater universe, God, that is watching over you and that is there to protect you, and you are fully safe and supported. So as soon as you start to kind of forget that for a moment, it's really easy to land on the fear and the disappointment.
Yes.
And powerless.
The forgetting is right where I was going to jump into next. So they let Jack rant it out in the car. Then they end up at a soccer field to watch Jack's younger brother later. And then she noticed him roaming around the field. She's like, what's up, Jack? I'm bored. And now, which we just went over, bored. We went from despair to bored. That's a big jump.
That's a big jump.
So her husband knew what they were doing, so he started chatting to Zach about sports cars, which is one of his favorite things. Distraction.
Yep.
Distracting yourself is also, it's one of the best things, because that goes back to what I was saying about becoming in the present moment. Put on Friends. Get out of the house. The house is a mess. You don't want to deal with it? Get in the car. Go for a drive. Play your favorite song.
Yes.
Go buy some flowers. Go walk around the flower area in Home Depot. Do something.
Do something.
Distract yourself from what you're feeling, and you're going to jump several levels on the emotional scale.
Yes.
And bring you back to the present moment. And sometimes when your nervous system, with that distraction, you're able to, okay, and like start stepping back and looking at the situation.
Right. And that's so helpful to step back, get a refocus,
Right.
and then you can see it's probably not as bad as you think it's going to be.
And again, what this book, the gifts this book is giving you, is you're going to be, everything is working out for my highest good. You're going to have these mantras already.
Yes.
From this book, from the first couple of chapters, the universe has my back. The universe has my back. Everything is working out for my highest good. That's going to really soar you up the emotional scale.
Yes. And the more you repeat it, the easier it comes when you're in those moments. For sure.
And she always talks about, and then there's always the choose again method.
Yes.
Choose again. You don't feel good? Choose again.
Right.
Don't get mad at the thought. Think of the next best thought. And don't be hard on yourself.
Right. And sometimes think, just what would make me feel 5% better right now? Don't be hard on yourself and expect to jump all the way up, like, you know, like we've been talking about. But just ask yourself in that moment, what would make me feel 5% better right now? Now, I was thinking about this and studying this chapter. And so here's a topic. How do you know the difference between finding your joy and numbing yourself from the pain?
Numbing yourself from the pain or finding joy. I think what people normally go for, I had a really hard day, let me drink some wine.
Right.
Let me go to the bar. Let me go through Kentucky Fried Chicken and eat my emotions.
Right. Not that we have anything against drinking wine, but
No, absolutely not. But there's a time and a place for it.
There's a time and a place for it, exactly.
I don't think that, especially for me, I come from a family that suffers with addiction problems. So at a young age, I never went for a drink or something like that when I was feeling bad.
I didn't either, because I just didn't have that desire.
Right.
But I did have my struggles, which my struggles looked like shopping or scrolling, like way past what I really should be.
Right. And I think scrolling is a big one, because that's an immediate distraction, right?
Yeah.
But if your algorithm is like these stressed out moms rage cleaning, and your algorithm is like kind of supporting your bad behaviors or your unfavorable patterns.
Yes.
And you're going to find like, oh, see, like rage cleaning is normal. No, it's not.
It's not.
I used to do it.
I do it.
Yeah.
That was when my kids were little, that was my thing. Every time I got mad.
When I went through 5 outfits for today, I ripped things down on my hangers. And then I took a breath and I walked away.
Yeah.
Just closed the door, walked away.
That's right. Restart. Come back to it with a different perspective.
But the rage cleaning, I think, is a big thing, because I see it all the time. Like people like making jokes about it and stuff like that. That is your nervous system and trapped emotions screaming at you that something's wrong.
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
And then you're trying to take control.
Yes, that's the thing, is you're trying to take control. And when you feel like you can't grab control, then that's when the rage or the emotions or the uneasiness comes out, and it comes out strong.
And that is definitely a trigger for me, having clutter in multiple spaces. So what I've tried to do when I start feeling that way is, okay, let me start one room at a time, one corner at a time, instead of, and then when you can have take your time, put on your music, light a candle, and spend your time in that space. Okay, one full, complete accomplishment.
Yes.
And by the time you're done and slowing yourself down,
you're going to feel better.
Yes.
I've been struggling with this with starting my new career and feeling really overwhelmed. And there are some days where I just want to drop and go, okay, this is not meant for me. I'm not doing this. But obviously I know that's not true. And I'm quickly ready, grasp, realign. And then, like you said, I go one chapter book for me at a time. And just doing that immediately makes me feel like, oh, wait a minute, I can do this. This isn't so overwhelming. It is when you're looking at the big picture. It is when you're thinking about trying to do all the things that got to be done for that one thing. But like you said, I love that. Step back and just look at it from a different perspective and take one tiny step. I sent one email yesterday, and that was my accomplishment for the day because that's what my nervous system can handle.
Right.
And I'm not hating on myself for that. I'm proud of me for noticing that and listening to myself and my body. And what a better day because I listened to my body.
And then when you take that second step back, your little opportunities or good thoughts or whispers from your guides will come through because you're not worrying and like trying to figure everything out.
Right.
Like even with this channel, like we have 19 subscribers right now. You know, how are we going to stop? We don't need to figure all that out.
Nope.
All we need to do is know that we're doing a good job from our heart to help people.
Yes. That's right.
Everything else will spiral off of that.
Right.
And like being in that state of not worrying allows the opportunities to come in. And I wanted to bring that up because I had another epiphany this week about, I saw Dr. Joe. You guys have to get into Dr. Joe if you're not.
Yes. He is an incredible teacher.
He was, a lot of people when we're trying to manifest money, be a millionaire. I need money, right? But how are you going to get that? Let's focus on manifesting an abundance in time.
Yes.
Manifest an abundance of opportunities because those opportunities are what's going to bring you the money.
Right.
So focusing on just not the money, and realizing that if you're continually chasing something and you're not getting filled is also not a good state to be in.
No, because you're chasing. Anytime you're chasing, right there is your immediate red flag. Hey, wait a minute. I'm not in alignment with what I really want because you shouldn't be chasing.
And you want to realize what is the abundance that you want? What are you going to do with it? Just spend it on yourself? It's just about cars? Is it just about, or what good are you going to do when you're in the position where you have more than enough?
Right. Or is it really even abundance that you want? Or is it the result of abundance? And that's freedom. Because I know that that's what changed me.
Right.
I used to always try to manifest money. Why is this not working? Why is that? And then all of a sudden I realized my perspective changed. And I'm like, what I really want with money is freedom. I want the freedom to have my slow mornings. I want the freedom to do what I need to do to make myself feel better. I wanted the freedom to help my family when they need it. I want the freedom to be able to live the life that I was created to live.
Yeah. And we're figuring it out.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's already happening.
Oh, yeah, because we're feeling the feeling
Yes,
of the
we
accomplishment.
know.
We don't know what it is.
Right. But
We have
just
ideas.
know that it's coming.
And I've realized that I want to be a professional piddler. I really understood this week. I like to piddle around. I piddle around from my dock to my hammock to my flowers to watching butterflies.
I love that.
And I want the abundance of time to piddle.
Yes.
I see all these little videos that this is my algorithm now. You know, they're in their little mud boots and looking at their flowers. Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah. I love it. You're going to get it. It's happening.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I already wow, how blessed I am. I work 4 days a week. I can piddle 3 days a week.
Yes.
I'm behind with my laundry, but
but that's not really important.
stupid human clothes.
Right?
All right. This is where she gets into the blocks.
Okay.
Something
So,
else?
well, I just, one of the ways I wrote down that you can tell whether it's joy or numbing is when whatever you're doing, you're having that glass of wine or 2 or 3, are you leaving, when you're finished with that, do you feel more connected to yourself or do you feel more anxious about your issue?
Right.
And that right there was the real, how do I tell if I'm really doing this because I'm joyful as I'm doing this, or am I doing this just kind of trying to numb the pain and this seems fun in the moment?
Right.
So,
Just start having those conversations with yourself and being aware.
right.
She starts talking about finding joy in any situations. Our resistance to joy blocks us from attracting whatever it is we desire. When we embody an energy of joy, we release resistance. And that's what we're talking about. This is basically getting into the present moment.
Right. Which is the biggest piece of work that you really have to do. Get into the present moment. Forget the past. Don't worry about the future. All that matters is right here, right now.
And she also brings up living from achievement to achievement is an addictive pattern that holds us back from truly enjoying the riches of life. Like if you just got a promotion and you're like worried about the next promotion, or, you know, there's just, that can just go into everything.
Yes.
Finding gratefulness for what you have is a super important vibration to try to align and find yourself in.
Yes, I agree. And I think journaling for that is really helpful. When you get into those hard moments, I know picking up my journal and just writing down 5 or 10 things that I'm grateful for immediately switches my perspective.
And I think that's what, like, you know, Tony Robbins, he doesn't talk about, he calls it state. Get into the state, get into the state. He's basically making you jump the emotional scale. Forget about everything else. We want to go into high energy, high focus, and that works.
Yeah, and it's great for sometimes.
For sometimes.
Right.
But for the long term, I feel like that's doing like some of like a weight loss trends. Like I'm going to fast and lose the 20 pounds.
Yes.
But that's not really bringing you any tools because you're kind of ignoring things up the ladder.
Right, right. And it's not really going, I mean, it's going to be beneficial. You know what I thought about, and I wanted to share this. So this kind of goes along with that. But so here's something that I used to do. So I went through probably 10 years where it was really hard. And I just felt like I couldn't get a break for a while. And this was years ago. And I heard one time that if you smile, it tricks your brain into thinking you're happy. Do you know I did that all the time? I would get so upset and I would just start smiling and people thought I was so crazy. And my kids would look at me and like, Mom, what are you smiling for? What's going, like, there's a lot going on right now. And do you know that actually really works? It tricks your brain into thinking you're happy. And if you keep doing it, you keep moving up. And yes, it's not a permanent fix. Of course, there's things that you're going to have to deal with and work out.
I've done that too. And that's a tool.
But oh my goodness, it works.
This fucking sucks.
It really works.
This really sucks.
Just start smiling, even when you're mad. Especially when you're mad, actually, because that's when it works the best.
It does.
Yes.
But she talks about having control in what you can control. Like you want to manifest a new job, but you can't leave your current job yet. What can you do in your daily life to make it better? And that goes back to like controlling your zones.
Right.
Like, okay, why don't you have you don't like say you're in a cubicle. If you go on Pinterest or TikTok, sure there is someone out there who has turned their cubicle into some serene environment that makes them happy. Do it.
Yes.
And, say you're tight on money. Let me tell you, Timu, whatever you want to call it, whew, they got some fire stuff on there. Start sprinkling some pretty little joy in your spaces where you spend your time, and that is a form of self-care, and that is love.
Yes.
You're bringing more love into your space, and you're gonna, one of your employers or employees are gonna see your happy little new flower, and that's gonna make them happy, and maybe that's gonna inspire them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or just pick up some donuts on the way to work. When you're starting to give out, you're gonna get back.
Yes. That's so true.
And that's another thing she talks about doing, it's in one of these blocks, is to, the distractions, say the distraction's not working, this isn't working. Give to others.
Yeah.
Go to the grocery store and smile at everybody you see. You're going to feel better.
Right. And if you don't have money or whatever, make a cute rock. Send a note to someone. Leave a little Post-it somewhere. Just do something that makes somebody else's day feel better, and I guarantee you it will make your day better as well.
Smile at people in the car. That costs nothing.
Yes, absolutely.
Kindness costs nothing.
Right.
Unless they cut you off. No, I'm kidding. Still working on road rage issues.
Smile as you can. Wave to them. Yeah. Have fun with it. Have fun with every moment. It's easy. It's doable. And it gets easier the more you do it. I feel like we kind of already talked about everything I highlighted. Let's see.
I like her carry a flashlight. Be the light. You have a choice every day.
Right.
You have a choice every minute to reset what you're doing. So it really comes down to having some conversations in the mirror about where you are at in your life and how much of that you want to take responsibility for.
Right.
And moving forward, being the light.
Right. It's time to get real. Mm-hmm. To get real with yourself.
And stop if you are someone that is pointing the blame and pointing the blame and pointing the blame. Life is a mirror.
Yes. That's very true.
And another thing, I'll let you look around, and I had something else that I wanted to share, was keep repeating, your guides, the universe, God wants to communicate with you. Everything is good is trying to come your way. And when you're more open to things, you're going to see different things. And one of the ways to get yourself into a higher vibration, if you want to start living a better life and having a better environment for yourself and deciding what you want and how you want your life to be, something also that costs $0 is to go to like a fancy bar. Go to where a lot of people have a lot of money. Be in that energy.
Yes.
Because that is a frequency.
It is.
That is people that have freedom of time.
Yeah.
They have freedom of money. If that's where you're trying to get, go sit in a fancy hotel lobby and get a cup of water and read a book.
Yes.
It's going to change your state.
It is going to change your state.
And being around pretty things. And that's not like going to the mall and then like, oh, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. Just go sit in a pretty place and drink a water.
Yeah. Go sit on the beach. If you need some sunshine and some grounding, just go sit on the beach. Or at a lakefront or at a park. Yes.
Being in nature raises your vibration, and sitting in silence. And that's something that I've been trying to work on, because I'm constantly, let me put this video on so I can understand the, physics and this and that. Or let me put this energy vibration on. Let me do this. Let me meditate. No. Everything also goes back to stillness.
Yes. I actually wrote that in my notes on one of the numbing things, because I have found that I am guilty of that, where I will start consuming so much. I need another video. I need to learn this. I need to understand this better. And I just get to where I'm consuming so much that I forget that the silence is really where the answers come from. So I have been doing that every day. I make sure I get 10 minutes in the morning and I get 10 minutes at night, and I put my timer on, and most of the time I go over because 10 minutes is not long enough. But wow, the amount of conversation that I hear from my higher self, from God, it just puts you into a state of wow, wow, that's the only thing you can say, because he's speaking directly to you. But it takes the absolute silence for at least 10 minutes.
At least 10 minutes.
At least 10 minutes. Give yourself 10 minutes to just be able to hear the voice that you need to hear to get to the places that you want to be.
And something else that's very interesting, especially if you're a little more into the spiritual side, when you're like, I heard a voice, my higher self, all the voices are going to be in your voice.
Yes.
That's a big trick that I was always waiting for, like, hello. This is your path. No, it's your voice. It's always your voice. I watched so many like psychic mediums too. They're like, no, like when I was saying, I heard like it's your voice.
Yes.
And being in the silence gives you the ability to maybe put together two synchronicities that you saw that week. Like, oh wait, I heard that twice. And now I just saw something on my phone, or like, this happened. But if you're constantly stimulated and stimulated and stimulated,
you miss those opportunities, those quiet voices. Yep. Silence is so important in growth. And I never realized that until this past year. And it was one of those things where I wish I would have known it sooner, because it's so powerful that I feel like it's definitely a key. Yes. Yes. Right? It's wild to me.
We're addicted to the stimulation.
Yes. And have you ever struggled with sitting there in the quiet and thinking, oh, what am I doing? I'm sitting here. I should be doing this. I should be cleaning the house or
ego.
Doing the emails or, whatever. I used to feel guilty when I first started.
My brain will still keep running. I'm just like.
So I learned something in my hypnotherapy school, and so what I do now is I start breathing in. I do a breath in, I am, and I breathe out, I am. I am that I am, and I just stay focused on that. So your focus stays 100% on God, and then it starts to go off, my breath goes off, and then that's when the answers come. And then as soon as I find my mind start wandering again, I start with the breath. I am that I am.
Yes.
And wow, it
does. And it's funny that you said that, because I was thinking about meditation too. And what I do, I don't say that, but I just start counting my breath.
Yeah.
I'm like 1, 2,
Yes.
3, 4. And it really just, in getting into meditation, start at 5 minutes, but doing that is going to help you stay centered.
It really does.
And allow your body to remember it's safe in stillness.
Yes. Speaking of that, do you want to do a 90-second guided meditation?
Yes.
All right.
Go for it.
So we are going to invite all of you to do this 90-second joy activation. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable and take a slow breath in and let your shoulders soften as you breathe out. And place one hand on your heart if it feels comfortable. This acts as an anchor to help guide you, and come back to this feeling anytime you want. Now ask yourself, what would feel just 5% better right now? Not perfect, not fixed, not magically healed, just 5% better right now in this moment. Let your mind show you. It may be a color, a memory, a song, maybe a person, a smell, or even just a tiny moment that feels a little bit lighter. Notice where that lives in your body. Maybe your chest softens. Maybe your belly loosens. Maybe your face relaxes. Maybe nothing dramatic happens at all, and that is okay too. Now breathe into that tiny spark. Let it grow as much as it wants to grow. Quietly say to yourself, I do not have to force joy. I can allow one small moment at a time. How do you feel?
Still good.
Good.
All right, so we have a little work for you. We're calling it the Joy Dare. For the next 24 hours, do not chase a miracle. Chase one moment that makes your body say yes. So that's really going to connect you to what feels good and what feels bad, and start having that conversation with your inner self that's always guiding you and always speaking to you. So do that. Try to, when you have a responsibility or whatever it is and you're just like, I don't want to do that, don't do it.
Right.
Listen to this. Try a big thing this week, or even a small, but start loving yourself and listening to yourself and not beating yourself up. Earth school is hard.
Yes, it is hard, but we will get through, and we will do it with joy.
Yes. Start riding the waves.
Yes.
All right. Have a wonderful week, day, month, year. We'll be back for chapter 5 next week.
Yes. We love you.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.